Hi, this is Art Kurtz, and this is Easy Access Math. And today we have another lesson on factoring a trinomial. Now, I have two ways of doing it today. First, we're going to do it with the arch method that I have shown you in other videos. And then we're going to try doing this problem and factoring it and finding the factors using grouping. I'll show you these two methods. Let's start with the arch method. That's an innovative method that we devised. And what you do is join the first number, the coefficient of the x squared, to the last number, the plain number at the end, which is a and c. You may have heard math teachers call that the AC method. And when we do that, we multiply. We're going to get a target number here of 105. 3 times 35, 105. I multiply the first and the last. Then what I do is I get my multiples for 105. So I have 105 times 1, and I have 21 times 5 would give me 105. 35 times 3 gives me 105. And I keep looking until I get all the multiples. I think that's about it for 105. Now, what you want to do next is look at that middle term, the term with the x. We want the two numbers that combine to negative 17. Now, you see, that's a negative. So when I say combine, it could be adding or subtracting. And because the 35 is negative, unlike signs give us a negative number when we multiply, and we do multiply to get that 35. So we're looking at unlike signs, so we're subtracting. We're combining a positive and a negative. And we know that the negative is higher because the 17 is negative. And here we have it, 21 and 5, when I subtract, would give me 17, where the 21 would be the higher of the two numbers. So I have x minus 21 and x plus 5, which gives me negative 17 when I combine those two. But I'm not done yet. I have to now undo this multiplication when I got that target number of 105. So I have to now divide one of these two numbers. And I have to divide the number that can be divisible by 3. And would that be the 5 or the 21? It would be the 21. 21 divided by 3 is 7, which gives me x minus 7. And that 3 now has to jump to the other parenthesis below next to the x. And so our two factors, x minus 7 and 3x plus 5. Now, we're going to return in a little bit, and I'm going to do the same problem using grouping, and we should come out with the same two factors. So stay with me, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back, and I'm going to do the same problem. This time, I'm going to factor by grouping. And as you can see, I have my multiples of the 105, the a times the c, the first, the number with the x squared, the coefficient, times the number at the end, the last. I multiply them, I get 105. And again, I go with my multiples. I get all of my multiples of 105. And so I have 1 times 105, 3 times 35, 5 times 21. I didn't put this last time, but 7 times 15 also works. But it doesn't work for this problem because 7 times 15 doesn't combine to negative 17x. That was the 5 and the 21, as we did before. Because when you combine them through subtraction, we know it's subtraction because that's negative, we get negative 17. And the higher number would be the negative, the 21, because it became a negative number when I combined it, sign of the higher. So I will rewrite this as 3x squared minus 21x minus, no, plus rather, 5x, because these combine to negative 17. So it's a minus 21 and a positive 5 minus 35. So I kind of split that up by its multiples, the 5 and the 21, positive 5 and negative 21. Now, factoring by grouping, remember, if you see my video on that, you split it right down the middle, and I'll just factor the first two. I could factor out a 3x, leaving me with x minus 7 when I factor out the 3x. And here I could factor out a 5, leaving me with x minus 7. Well, you see the x minus 7 matched. We like that when we did grouping because that is one of the factors, x minus 7. The other factor I get from my outside numbers with that sign joining the 5, it would be 3x minus 5. There are my two factors, 3x minus 5, 3x plus 5, because it's that sign in the middle. Be careful with your signs. Sign mistakes could happen to the best of us. Don't let it happen to you. So you want to be careful. It's plus because it's the plus before the 5x, which joins, the middle sign joins the 3x and 5. 3x plus 5 and x minus 7, your two factors. Now I could check by FOILing. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times negative 7 is negative 21x. 5 times x is positive 5x, and plus 5 and negative 7 is negative 35, and I can combine these two like terms. Negative 21 positive 5 is negative 17x, so it's 3x squared minus 17x minus 35, which is exactly what we have up there, so it checks. So those are our two factors. You've seen two ways to do it. Please be careful with your signs. You see, sign mistakes could happen, and you don't want to let that happen to you. And that's two methods to factor a trinomial. Give it a try.